Hi, everyone. Welcome to Film Vets. I'm your host, Paul Dixon, and with me is my co-host,
Dan Young.
We're going to do something a little different today. I would like to talk about the movies that have come out this year. I want to briefly say what my top 10 are. You haven't watched enough movies this year to really give any
I've got a
consensus
top
on 10 films. You've seen 3 films. So we're gonna do that. So here's my list of the top films of the year, and keep in mind I did not see everything. I couldn't. So here we go. Number 10, When Evil Lurks. I was so surprised how creepy this film was. Very interesting way of spinning the whole possession horror story. So that's my number 10. Number 9 is The Killer. The Killer was Michael Fassbender, directed by David Fincher. It was methodical in the way it went about creating this world of a man just going through the motions of being a killer, an assassin, seeing him fight with himself to not be taking things personal and doing it for the job, but he's doing it for personal reasons. It was fascinating. I loved it. I always love a good David Fincher film. Number 8 is Talk to Me, a film about people getting possessed. This was a great spin on that as well. The fact that this was made by 2 YouTubers who had made previously fun action on YouTube, and this just threw me for a loop. I thought it was made by seasoned filmmakers, and this is their first outing, and it blew me away. I thought it was one of the best horror films of the year. Don't watch alone. Number 7 is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. You can't beat the animation in this. As far as like the Academy goes, if this doesn't win Best Animated Film, I don't know what's wrong with the world. I loved everything about this movie, and I feel like at this point, Miles Morales has almost come above Peter Parker as Spider-Man for me. He's just so damn lovable in this series, and I can't wait for the 3rd and final one to come out when it does. Number 6 is John Wick Chapter 4, the final John Wick film. We'll see.
I've seen this one.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Dan.
Woo! I'm finally in it.
I really enjoyed John Wick all the way from the beginning. I didn't think I was going to like this series, but it really comes together. Every movie seems to be better and better than the last. I thought it wrapped up so well, though. I don't see why they wanted to... Oh, money. Oh, that's So I guess if they come back with it, I'm going to watch it. One of the best action series I've ever seen. Number 5 is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. This one pulled at the heartstrings. You saw this? Oh, I'm so excited. Listeners, followers, film vetties, we're working on that. The fact Dan has seen a movie that I've seen is really, it's filling my heart with
and we've
joy.
got 2 on this list.
I know, 2 out of 10 ain't bad. It's pretty bad. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is James Gunn's final magnum opus for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He created these characters basically from scratch. I know they're comic book characters in the comics, but let's be honest, the personalities were created, besides maybe Rocket. I think he had a lot to do with the success of this. I mean, he did. He was the father of this series, and he made this wonderful thing out of almost nothing. Nobody gave a shit about Guardians of the Galaxy until these movies, and he really brought it together. I can't wait to see what he does with the DC Universe, but this was a great film that wrapped up the entire series, and I kind of hope they don't go back to Guardians of the Galaxy without him. Number 4 is Saltburn. This one just released onto Amazon Prime and is worth your time. It is one of the creepiest films I've seen in a while. This actor Barry Keoghan has blown up so fast, and you don't understand why until you see this movie. Like, he's great in other things, but this film really is his centerpiece. He is the main actor. He is in almost every scene, and he kills it. And everything about this film was just done well. The cinematography, the costume design, the set design, everything was just on point. And I love the ending of it. So that's all I'm going to say. Number 3, Barbie. Who in a million years thought Barbie was going to be a $1 billion movie? I know, I sure didn't. I didn't think Barbie would even make $500 million. Greta Gerwig, one of the best filmmakers of our generation, has just been making film after film greater than the last. I loved Little Women. I saw it recently after I saw Barbie, and I was like, okay, I get it. I get why she's so great. Shouldn't have worked. It did. You couldn't have made a better Barbie movie. You just couldn't. Made me so happy that this exists in the world. Number 2, Poor Things. Very similar to Barbie in a lot of ways, and where you have this woman going out into the world and discovering what it's really like and learning from that experience. I just loved and adored every weird thing that happens in this movie. Mark Ruffalo, probably the best he's ever been. Willem Dafoe is so funny in every scene he's doing. Emma Stone should probably get nominated for an Academy Award for this. She is that good. Number 1 for me for the year is kind of a horror film, Oppenheimer. I felt like everything in this movie was just done so perfectly without being hyperbolic. It really is an important film. It's Christopher Nolan, man. He's just the best, in my opinion, filmmaker out there right now. He's doing things that people wish they could do. And he chose to do a semi-biographical film about this man who created the atomic bomb. The way this country treated him was really harsh. And I mean, I don't know the specific story of everything that happened. I just know what I've seen in the movie. And if it went down like it did in the movie, that's pretty terrible.
Pretty close.
But
it was pretty damn close. It was actually marginally worse in real life.
Oh, wow. That's awful. I will say I do believe Christopher Nolan might get an Academy Award nomination along with Robert Downey Jr. and Cillian Murphy. I think they were just so damn good. Everybody in this film was amazing. It's my number 1 for the year, and I don't think that's going to change. Before we go, I want to hear yours, Dan. What's your top films?
So I've got kind of a jankier top 5 list. In fact, like, wow. Yeah, I mean, like if yours looks like a cinema, my top 5 list is like the alleyway in the back. There's a dumpster that probably needs to be hosed down and stuff. So work with me here, but my top 5 list for the films that I've seen last year, it would be Dungeons and Dragons fits in number 5. That was just a riot. It made my list. That's good. Loved it. Mission Impossible number 4, thought that was fantastic as well. It was a really fun ride. And honestly, I'm missing a few films in the middle there still to this day, and I'm still able to pick it up and go with it. Like, they did such a good job that it lets you walk into the film without feeling so burdened like I'm just lost. I was able to just keep pace. It was awesome.
Well, you can always like pick out the film by the stunt that Tom Cruise does. That might help.
Yes.
Or his hair. What does his hair look like? Is it long or short?
I have Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I thought that was a very, very heartfelt movie. I thought it was beautifully done. I did shed tears over it. It was a beautifully done movie. Number 2 was Oppenheimer. I did enjoy Oppenheimer a lot. Now, my number 2 spot does kind of have a slash, John Wick. Now, the reason I'm putting both of those on the same level is because, one, you got Christopher Nolan. It's this massive... Oppenheimer was beautifully done, don't get me wrong. Visually awesome. Story held very true. It didn't reach my number 1 because it wasn't necessarily as relevant as my number 1 pick, but the slash John Wick 4, I had a very hard time separating them for number 2. They were both done so well, and I love John Wick. I love the whole series. It was one of the first movie was just such a sleeper that it just sucked me in immediately. Number 1, Barbie.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
commentary. Ryan Gosling, it had a lot of heart. Like, they found a way to fit 50 gallons worth of content into that movie in like a 4-ounce cup. Like, it was so crazy. It was so packed full of everything.
So what was your top 10, people? Let us know in the comments below. We want to know before the end of 2023. Get out there and tell us. Like, share, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought of our top 10. Don't forget to say, oh, excuse me. Thank you. I need water. Thank you so much, veterans, for watching and for your service. And don't forget, Dan, to have a happy holiday.
You too.
Great. Bye, y'all.
Bye.